Hello everyone, everything good? Pleasure, my name is Eversilk. I want you to know from the start that although the video is being narrated by a robot, the content was all created by me. I am Basilero, and I don't know if the translator's English is good, so comment if not understood because this is my first video in English. Get to know the four main parts of textile screen printing. Now given the explanations, welcome to our first video in the series of presentation of what is textile screen printing and its applications. Supposed origin of serigraphy. The name serigraphia is of Greek origin where serikos in Portuguese means silk and graphos means write or draw. Art is also known as silkscreen, where in Portuguese the word silk means silk and screen means screen, generating the free translation silkscreen. The origin of serigraphy is in the mid-960s and 1270 after Christ, and prints and engravings in the dynasty period. Later, Japanese people began to use screen printing to transfer designs onto silk fabrics. At the end of the 18th century, serigraphy reached the West. What is serigraphy? Serigraphy is an ancient technique used to transfer a certain image that we call a print to a certain substrate, which in serigraphy is nothing more than the material that will be used to receive the application through the transfer of the image or the print as want to call. Screen printing is basically divided into three sectors: textile, flat, and cylindrical, which together print different types of things, among many are. In the textile sector, t-shirts, shorts, pants, caps, sheets, pillowcases, and many others. Flat serigraphy consists of stamping smooth and flat materials such as stickers, calendars, business cards, and everything you can imagine that is smooth and flat. And we also have cylindrical serigraphy, which is used to print objects such as cups, pens, pencils, buckets, etc. But the subject here is textile serigraphy, and to make the serigraphic application of a substrate of your choice, we need to respect a process divided into four parts: 1 art, 2 canvas, 3 ink, and finally the application in the fourth position. I'm going to give a glimpse of what makes up these four parts, and you're about to meet the first one. But first I'm going to make a warning. I want you to understand that to develop in serigraphy and reach a satisfactory level of excellence, you need a lot of practice and study, okay? So start now and don't be curious anymore, causing damage to your future customers and embarrassing our category. So to receive more quality knowledge created by me that I've been in the area for 21 years and I know the challenges that a beginner will face, already subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, like and share to spread this knowledge. Have you done all that? So let's go. Number 1. Final artwork. The final art consists of choosing a ready-made image from search engines such as Google Image, Pinterest among others, always alert with image rights, or even creating it. Both choosing a ready-made image and creating it, it must be finalized in any image editing program of your choice such as Corel Draw, Illustrator, Photoshop among others, so that the image is treated, the colors are separated, thus generating the final art, which after being printed on a translucent sheet, such as laser film, clear, transparency, vegetable, acetate among others, manages the so-called photoliths, which takes us to the second step, which is the canvas. But don't worry about that. There are several finalist art professionals ready to solve the first part for you with very affordable values. One of the channels easier to find them. It's in the Facebook Arts group. I suggest you hire them until you develop in the arts. That is if your knowledge in the area is zero. Number 2. Screen. The serigraphic screen that is made up of a wooden, steel, or aluminum frame with the size that fits your image, respecting the margins of space that have to be left to deposit the ink and work with the squeegee, which will be discussed in the fourth and last step. To make it, you will also need a piece of polyester fabric that has different weights classified as 44 threads, 55 threads, 77 threads among others. The choice of weight is given according to the need that your image requires. This polyester will be glued or stapled to the canvas so that it is well stretched, and if you have never had physical contact with a canvas before, I suggest that you buy one already stretched so that you can measure the level of tension necessary to work with quality, and only after that, start learning to stretch your own canvases. There is a video on the channel on how to do this on the card that will appear in the upper right corner of the video, and I will also leave the link in the description. After the canvas is already stretched, in a low-light environment, the emulsion is applied with the help of an applicator popularly known as a gutter. There are several types and brands. Serigraphic emulsion, which is a product that can be single or by component, it depends on taste. It is responsible for the perfect transfer of the image from a photolithography to the screen. After pasting the photolithography with a transparent Durex from the outside the screen, always mirrored, turned upside down and not upside down, and place it on a light table. Add a weight and leave it exposed for a certain time, which depends on the intensity of the light you is using. After the exposure time has ended, it is taken to a tank after removing the photolith and receives a moderate jet of water, softening the part where the photolith image corresponds and leaving intact the parts where there is no image giving origin of your application screen. After that, we give it a finish, and soon it is ready to be used in your serigraphic applications. If you were curious to know how to record a screen step by step, the link is in the description, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I hope you understood. Leave your doubts in the comments. Thanks. 3. Ink. There are several types of inks in screen printing that it would be impossible to talk about all of them in a single video. But as this is a brief presentation, I believe it is important for you to know that we must always seek to know the composition of the substrate that will be printed to know which ink we should use, and also seek technical help from the manufacturers themselves, as each composition requires a paint that follows its need. For this, the paint factories provide technical sheets of their products to prevent their customers from taking a loss by applying a certain paint on a substrate that does not adhere. And in the paint part there are bases, auxiliary products, additives, etc. Application. To make the serigraphic application, it is necessary to have a table with a smooth and flat surface, where we apply a contact glue so that the substrate does not move from its position when printing. We place the screen with the ink on the substrate, and with the help of a squeegee of rubber we slide the squeegee over the screen, pulling the ink with a certain pressure so that it crosses the pores of the screen and marks the fabric in the areas of the image. And this is how the serigraphic print is made. This was just a brief presentation, but if you really want to learn step by step how this process is done from beginning to end, just follow me on the channel and on social networks. The links are below. Stay with